it'll be just nice to come home and have a, different perspective on things.
Nah, hold on.
We're just going to keep talking for an hour.
Okay. Let me know when we're rolling, okay? And if I mess it, pause it. And if I mess it up, we can do it again. All right.
You got this.
Yeah. Ready? Hi, everyone. My name is Horacio Davila, and I want to welcome you guys to my brand new podcast, Craft Cerveza Talk. My very first guest, it's a very successful brewer. His brewery has multiple locations in Monterey County. Someone I respect and someone I really, really admire our brand. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Mr. JC, owner of Alvarado Street Brewing Company.
Yeah. Thanks, Horacio. Thanks for having me.
No,
Pleasure to be
welcome.
here. This is a sophisticated setup you got. Pretty nice.
Pretty simple. All right, JC. So let's get right to it. First question for you. What got you to brewing and what got you to decide to open up a brewery?
Yeah, for sure. I think, similar, to you're a fellow home brewer. I just started homebrewing 2009, got really, really into it. It kind of was all consuming. I was having trouble sleeping, just thinking about beer and beer styles. I really liked how it was just this whole new world that I had no idea, anything about. So much history behind different beer styles. And at the time I was living in San Diego, and there was this just insane kind of, beer movement going on then, which was really hard not to get caught up in, and just a really infectious sort of, community of just passionate, enthusiastic homebrewers. And so it started there for sure.
Okay. So what were you doing back then? What were you doing for as a profession?
I was collecting unemployment. I lost my job in the recession of 2008.
Yeah.
And I had actually just moved to like a satellite office from my company in San Diego. And I was down there like a month before, the company got sold and they laid off, half the people. But it was okay because I wasn't, maybe super sure that was the direction I wanted to go anyways. And so I was able to travel a little bit and, was able to get into the beer scene.
It's funny because I heard, even when I was a home brewer, that you used to be a home brewer. And I didn't realize how farther or how soon you started, way before I started home brewing. So you were in 2009. So that's why I never seen you, because you were already a company by that time I discovered.
Yeah. No, I mean, I homebrewed for a few years, and I teamed up with a buddy of mine from college, and we opened a small sandwich shop on the outskirts of the San Diego State campus. And we had a little kegerator. We had, I think it was like, could fit, 4 half barrels in there. And we decided to put like 8 sixtels and have like rotating taps. And we were just super into it. And the home brewing was something I did on the side. That business was super difficult, the location. And so we knew if we wanted to kind of keep it going, we needed a better location because it was just so seasonal, the student population there.
Yeah.
So we found this pretty awesome site in our community where we lived in Pacific Beach that was kind of on the second floor of this kind of sort of rundown, like shopping mall, but it had a beautiful ocean view. And so we took an investment from 40 to 50 friends in small chunks, anywhere from $500 to $5,000, and pulled everything together, and took 2 years, and we opened up a small brew pub over there. But with that part of town in San Diego, it was advantageous for us to pull a brewing license, a Type 23, as opposed to kind of just have a Type 41 where you buy and sell other people's beer.
Got it.
So that was kind of the catalyst, was like, well, I love homebrewing, and I'm pretty sure this is what I want to do anyway. So let's just go all out and build a small brewery. So we had a 3-barrel kind of Frankenstein homebrew kit that we did, and we had 2 fermenters in the bar and had about 24 taps that we rotated. And we usually only had about like 2 or 3 house beers at a time because I only had 2 fermenters, and the brewery was like in the back of a kitchen, and it was just a really like awesome experience, super hard work, and it was just kind of a great way to sort of cut my teeth on the whole thing.
Yeah. Sounds.
But I wasn't leading it on my own, though. I recognized that being a home brewer, that was a pretty big jump. Only home brewing, for a couple of years to go professional was daunting. So I was lucky enough to hire a guy who had worked at Alpine Brewing Company, who was, instrumental in sort of, helping me bridge the homebrew professional brewing gap. And Alpine was one of like my huge inspirations, like one of my absolute favorite breweries that kind of got me into it in the first place.
Cool. Was that where Alvarado was born, or was it a different name back then?
No, that was a different name. So that was called Amplified Ale Works. And it's still there to this day. Yeah. No, it's still there. They do a great job, and they're still down there at our original beach location. They just celebrated 12 years.
Go visit them.
Yeah, you do. It's awesome.
Nice. Beautiful story. Second question that kind of goes along with the first question. If you can remember, what was your first beer that you ever brewed? How was it?
All right. So bear with me here. It was an IPA, real original. But I think I wanted to just get as creative as I could right off the bat. I think I dry hopped it with Simcoe and Centennial, and then I threw fresh rosemary in the carboy.
Fresh rosemary.
Okay. Yeah, and it turned out just terrible. It was just so rough and just it was awful. Yeah, but
did you guys drink?
I had enough. Like, I guess it was okay enough to where we drank it, and it was still encouraging for me to kind of keep trying. And then I brewed a lot of hoppy beer. I brewed. I tried at the time. Sculpin was just starting to get some legs, and so that was like historically it was like a Simcoe Amarillo sort of IPA. So I used a lot of Simcoe, a lot of Amarillo, a lot of Nelson Sauvin. I was just trying to make a lot of hoppy beer predominantly. Some Belgian beers too. I was really into Belgian beers.
Yeah, very tasty. What would you say now today is the most popular beer
that Alvarado makes?
Yep.
Well, it would have to be Mai Tai for sure. So that actually is a beer that I did brew at Amplified in 2012. And it was the first year that Mosaic, formerly HBC 369, got its name. That year in 2012, that was when the Craft Brewers Conference, CBC, was in San Diego. And I was able to kind of get my hands on this new Mosaic hop. And at the time, I wanted it to have a little bit less bitterness. I think in those days, those were kind of known as the IBU wars. A lot of IPA was like
super
100 plus on paper. And I was just trying to have something a little more pale, a little lighter, just like kind of more of like a pale ale, like a strong pale ale. And so I brewed it with just 100% Pilsner malt. And was a little worried that maybe people were going to judge me, because at the time, IPA had, a little bit more color to it. There was some crystal malt, something to kind of, enhance all those hops, a little malt backbone. So that was the first time Mai Tai came around. And then, when I came up and opened Alvarado, that was like, I think my fourth brew that I did. I want to say. Yeah.
Nice.
Because you noted it came out in May.
Yeah. I did a little research because my next personal question was how do Mai Tai came about, and then who came up with the name? Did the recipe, which you already answered? And I noticed that you launched it on officially in your page back in 2014, May 26, 2014.
Yeah.
So, but how did you come up with the name Mai Tai? Obviously, you designed the recipe. You were brewing it. It was born on Amplified before Alvarado. So it
wasn't named. It was just called Mosaic IPA back then. But it was. I want to say it was our assistant manager at the time for the restaurant, because I was kind of trying to describe how Mai Tai, smelled and tasted, and with Mosaic hops. It's a very tropical hop. It was even more tropical.
One of my favorite
back in those days. Yeah. So something to convey that sort of tropical, sort of passion fruit, pineapple, but also has this crazy sort of blueberry component. It's kind of a whole spectrum of kind of fruity flavors. So we liked the silly pun Mai Tai IPA, and never look back.
Very interesting. Yeah, that's one of my personal questions. I'm always been intrigued about Mai Tai, and I love the beer. And you see everywhere, and it's super tropical, very inviting, and you can just crush a couple of them, no problem.
Yeah, it's like the simplest beer though. It's really one malt, one hop. I guess you could call it a smash beer technically, but we try and keep the alcohol level fairly approachable. It's mid sixes, and the bitterness balance is really balanced with the dryness of the beer, so it finishes pretty dry. It's neutral fermentation, 40 or so IBU on paper, and we just want it to be really approachable, really drinkable, kind of like a California weather that we're blessed to have.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, so
nice. Okay, well, now we're gonna get to the more interesting part of this podcast. You brought 2 beers. I brought one.
One beer and one hop water.
Hop water. Oh, hop water. There we go.
It's just tasty.
So we're gonna pour each other's beer, and then you're gonna tell me what I'm supposed to be tasting, and then I'm gonna give you a feedback on that.
Cool.
So tell me about the beer that you brought. I heard double cone. Never had it yet. Haven't had time.
Oh, you never had double cone? Okay. Yeah, right on.
Tell me about the double cone.
Yeah, double cone's a big beer for us in multiple ways. It's it's big in alcohol. It's about 9%. Alcohol by volume. It's a double IPA. We've been making, I want to say since 2014, 2015, maybe.
Really?
It has kind of a double entendre with the meaning. So cone, like hop cone. Mm-hmm. We kind of, drew a little inspiration from Cone Peak down in Big Sur, and there's Ventana double cone. It's like this sort of this mountain down in the Ventana wilderness. But to us, it's the homage to Pliny the Elder. Some of the bigger West Coast double IPAs that really got me hooked on hops and hoppy beer, and so we use it as the ability to just showcase all of our best hops and try and saturate as much hop oil and hop character into the beer possible. And that is kind of the reason for the high alcohol, is because the alcohol acts as the oils will solubilize, in the alcohol, so we can just really crank that hop character.
There you go. Well, do us the honor.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been lucky to pick up a few awards for this beer over the years.
Nice.
It's won Great American Beer Festival a couple times. The Alpha King Challenge. Just pour you like a half right here.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. We brew it fresh every year for San Francisco Beer Week as well. So.
Oh, this is fresh.
Yeah, it's real fresh.
Good.
Last week packaged.
You can definitely smell the alcohol. All the maltiness in it. Very pleasant hops.
Yeah.
Aroma.
So, right off the bat, it's like huge, just burst of pine resin, and then you'll notice I'll let you kind of give your take before I go into it.
Very, very slight piney, but not to the point that it just grabs your palate. Mm-hmm. The resin, back palate, but all the hop and I must say, little fruity. And the alcohol just jumps in your tongue. But it's even though it's 9%, it's very pleasant. I mean, I wouldn't think it was 9%.
That's kind of the goal, right? So like trying to control fusel alcohol formation by, making sure we have healthy pitch, amount of yeast to pitch, proper oxygenation, making sure that the temperature is kept at bay, to kind of prevent those sort of harsher kind of like alcohol smells and that kind of alcohol heat.
Yeah. That's what I'm not picking up. I don't pick up the heat. So if you're reminding me about when I used to go to a bartending school, that the point of a good drink is not for you to take that taste the alcohol. So I guess you're making some kind of transition between cocktail, making and beer. The point of this is not for you to get that bite, the heat,
Yeah.
And it's really, really a pleasant beer to drink. It's yummy.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for bringing it.
No, of course. Yeah. It's pretty dangerous because you don't really it has that full flavored kind of hop saturated kind of alcohol sweetness, but it's so dry that it doesn't it doesn't come across as sweet. It comes across as dry and it has a ton of drinkability. So it makes it dangerous when you don't.
Yeah, very dangerous.
Alcohol.
Super dangerous.
But yeah, you're right. Super fruity too. So
yeah.
This has Mosaic, Simcoe, Citra. We have a little bit of Strata in here.
I like Strata.
We have, I think, Mosaic and Citra. We use some of the Lupulin Cryo powder for that.
Very good.
Which is just enriched hop pellets, essentially. So
yeah.
It's just more oil, more dank, more tropical, more fruity vibes.
There you go. Well, thank you for sharing this double count. Yeah.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Let's have some of your beer.
All right. So this, it's actually you'd be the lucky one to get to try first. Is my new release Besito. I think I released it last year, but I never released it in cans.
Oh, nice.
It's a Blue Wise with tons of cherry and raspberry.
Nice.
So I made it for Valentine's. And then it's super bright, super refreshing. I love German sours, you know.
Yeah.
That's the only way I do make my sours. So
that's awesome.
I'll let you tell me what you think.
Yeah, thank you. Looks beautiful. Look at that. Nice. Yeah, wow. That was just absolute wave of cherry, raspberry, just almost this like huge jammy thing.
Yeah.
It comes right out.
Yeah.
Yeah, super clean too. Really, really clean. Just unadulterated fruit. It's really, really nice on the nose.
Funny story. When I created this beer last year, the combo of the fruit was raspberry and strawberry. And then for some reason, I couldn't find the strawberries when I was about to blend it. And I saw some cherries that had there, and I did a little test. And it just reminded me about lambics.
Yeah.
And I found lambics. There are tons of cherries.
Sure.
So I just decided to just switch it.
Yeah.
And then go with the cherry and the raspberry. So, you know, cheers, man.
Yeah, cheers. This is super good.
Yeah.
Super good. Yeah. Just all fruit on the palate too. And
it's 6%. So like you were doing it earlier, it's very dangerous because people think, oh, tastes like juice, tastes like very light, but it's 6%. So people just drink, and then next thing you know, they're super happy.
Yeah, you could probably get in trouble because I think one of my kids would try this and they would have no idea about that.
Yeah, it's what I call candy for adults, man. Candy for adults.
It is. Yeah, for sure. Super good.
Cool.
Nice
so
work.
while I was sipping on this, I'm gonna put you a little on the spot.
Do it.
I heard that you're leaving us for a while. I heard that you're going to Munich.
Yeah.
To complete a goal that was for you for a while. So tell us about you leaving.
Yeah, for sure.
We're coming back, and how's that going to be?
No, definitely. I'm going to be pursuing a master brewer degree at the Doemens Academy in Munich. It's basically finishing a program that I started when I was living in San Diego before I moved up to Monterey. You know, it was distance based. That I did that the first time for a year. It was these 3 modules, and to get the master brewer certificate, it's an extra 4 modules, and it's just like a 5-month intensive course. And you know, I think for me, I have a really awesome team that you know, they kind of make my job easy. They do. They make everything pretty awesome. There's not a lot I'm really doing too much these days. I really got to hand it off to our crew. This past year, I've kind of stepped back a bit from the production of Alvarado, and I've been doing kind of R&D batches on our 5-barrel system at Carmel, which has been really fun. Like kind of getting my hands dirty again and getting back to, you know, the passion of it. That is, you know, is why I went into this business. But, you know, going to Germany is just kind of the full circle moment because I always wanted to complete this program. I just never had the time or you know, commitment to go out there and make it happen. And as our kids, my wife and I, we have 3 kids. As they get older, we kind of like looked at each other this past summer. We're like, you know what? Like, it's either now or never. So.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah,
very excited for you, man. Well, let us know when you come back and share your stories. You know,
yeah, I absolutely will. Definitely.
Cool. So, question for you. You see, what do you think about all these new breweries popping up in the Monterey County and Salinas? What do you think about that?
That's awesome, man. I mean, a big reason why, you know, we opened our restaurant at 301 Main down here on the first block. You know, was because we all kind of came in around the same time. I mean, you were doing it. Marlene at Brewing Crew. You got Oscar, who took over Excel, who's just been doing a phenomenal job. It's kind of like, the anchor craft beer tenant. There's Farmers Union down the street, Bearded Bean. I mean, it's just this cool little scene. And, Salinas, really means a lot to us. We've had our business here since 2016 over in kind of the Spreckles industrial area over there, and we love our Salinas fam. And when it came time to scout out new locations for potentially another Alvarado kind of restaurant, beer focused kind of tap room, Salinas was kind of a
no-brainer.
It was a no-brainer.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And we figured right now all we have for our locals that patronize our business is our tap room over at Spreckles, or at the time. And so, we figured let's see if we can save everybody driving 40 minutes and just go right into this beautiful downtown that the city, has put a lot of effort into, the beautification of Salinas. I mean, it looks amazing, and it was just something we wanted to be a part of.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why I want to ask you that question. Ever since I started my journey in an attempt to open this brewery, talking to the locals, talking to Oscar, Merlene, Beer Bean, Jeff from Hidden Hills, they all say the same thing, and I experienced it firsthand. You've always been available to us, no matter what. I text you, you text back. I call you, you call me back. You say yourself, everything I need, just call me or call my staff. Why? You, JC, you reach a level of success that is goal for a lot of us, but you still manage to turn back and say, let me help the little guy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, honestly, I feel guilty. I feel like I could be more helpful. Honestly, it's hard. We have 4 businesses and just trying to balance family life and everything. But I mean, it's another no-brainer, right? Because I wouldn't be here where I am today without the help of the community, through my journey. Yeah. So the least I can do is help out, in any way I can, and be there, for anybody who's trying to, get into the business. It's a really hard business. It's getting harder. This year's, pretty crazy right now, but I think, we all have this common goal that we can agree on. We agree on beer, and I think we're all pretty like-minded in that. And the more it's cliche, but it's the rising tide, floats all ships. Yeah. And I'm a firm believer of that. And I try to put that into practice.
Oh, thank you. You see, how important is community involvement for you and your business?
It's huge, right? So, I mean, beer, is just, and I'm going to keep saying like cliches, but it's the social lubricant. It, brings people together from all walks of life. And can set aside your differences, and it's also, coming into, a pub or a bar or a tap room, going into a brewery, that's where we go to like escape, the stresses of our life. Yeah. And, the community comes together, in your restaurant, at our place, it's critical to be there for the community and to try and, support everything we can.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, that's one of the things that draw me to become a brewer. The collaboration and brotherhood between brewers, I never seen it before. Most people,
it's amazing.
See each other as a competition, and I'm not saying we're not in the market, but when it comes to helping each other out, we're always, willing to lend a helping hand.
Absolutely,
and it's something that I had as the brewery industry grows, I see it more and more and more. We don't lose that character.
No, and we've all stayed the course in that regard, for sure. Just despite the market, maturing now. It's not the boom that it was over the last decade. But I think just being there for one another, and it's the most unique industry in the world. Yes, people have our backs.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Do you have any questions for me? If you don't, it's fine.
Yeah, what's you're a big tequila guy. What's your favorite tequila? Let's go off topic a bit.
Man, tequila.
I have a follow-up to that.
Yeah. Tequila. I don't have a favorite. I have a favorites. And it's just brands. I mean, Cascaguin, it's one of my favorites. Fortaleza, I know it's one of your favorites. Ocho, G4. It's just it's a lot of good ones. But if I have to zero on one specific tequila, and it's actually because it has sentimental value for me. It's called Rey Sol from San Matias house.
Okay.
That's the first bottle my father gave me. So it's an extra añejo. So that's what's like my favorite all time. I'll have that anytime, any day, any place.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, but yeah, good tequila. It's hard to come by these days.
So then, with your brewing philosophy, how are you approaching what you're doing at La Cantina? What are the styles that you tick on, that you love to make, that you want to showcase?
Yeah, well, my brew styles is based on my childhood. A lot of the people think that these fruit forward beers or more flavorful beers are geared towards a woman, and it's not true. I grew up in a place in Guadalajara where our community was famous for planting fruit trees. We didn't have pines or any other trees. It was fruit trees, mangoes, tamarindo, guavas, you name it. So I grew up walking to school, grabbing a guava, or coming back from school, grabbing a mango, if I was hungry, whatever. So my palate showcased to that. When it comes to tequila, my palate on tequila has allowed me to brew clean beers, because tequila is just clean.
Yeah,
you can't mimic, flavor profile that a clean tequila has. So it allows me to pick up, flavors or
but it comes back to what we were talking
things
about. Like,
that are not good.
You don't want to drink a tequila that's super hot or that has like
Yes.
big ethanol or like a paint thinner or something.
Yes.
You want it clean, and
Yeah,
so
you want
cool.
it clean. So it helps me to brew clean beers and to stay, clean and have, off flavors.
Sure.
So that palate helps me a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a big project I'm working on right now. I cannot disclose who I'm working with. It's from Jalisco, but I'll let you know. I'll let you in. Actually, I'm gonna let you in on this one. When it comes back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Look forward to that. That's awesome.
Cool.
Nice.
So, anything you want to announce? What's new in Alvarado for this month? Do you have anything for Valentine's going on? Any specials? Any beer specials? What do you want?
Yeah, we're doing a couple Valentine's Day dinners at our restaurant here in town at 301 Main. So we're doing like a beer dinner. We're doing a special Valentine's Day menu over in Carmel. I think mainly, we have a bunch of great releases for San Francisco Beer Week. We're doing 8 releases, so 4 last Friday and 4 this upcoming Friday. Okay. So a lot of them are big, crazy beers like Double Cone, and there's like a hazy triple IPA called One Giant Leap that we do, once a year. So it's a lot of like our kind of annual beers that we do special for the week are coming out. So but in terms of sensible beer styles, we brew a lot of pills. We're putting them into more cans these days, which is something I'm really proud of. It's a German style Pilsner, just Alvarado Pils. It's a really nice beer. Just showcases a different type of hop character, noble hops, from Germany and those regions, and it's just a nice counterpoint to the big citrusy American hops that we go a little heavy handed with at times. But.
There you go. I have a question for you on the beers. There's one hazy that is my favorite from your collection of hazies.
Oh, nice.
I think it's called Mercoholics.
Mercoholics. Oh, no.
I haven't seen that one. I either haven't seen it come out or I missed it come out. But man, when I went to your Monterey location about 2 years ago, I went to my friend and he said, "You have to try this. You have to try this." And I tried it, man. I think that was an 8%er, right? If I'm not mistaken. I downed like 4 of those beers, like nothing over your lamb burger, which is the most delicious burger I've ever.
Oh yeah, the Vietnamese lamb burger. Yeah.
So
awesome.
When is that coming out? That's my favorite hazy from your collection.
Well, thank you.
I
appreciate that. So that's highly dependent on a certain hop variety that we get from New Zealand called Rawaka, and we have Rawaka now. And I think we're going to brew that beer later this year. But that beer is usually once a year we'll brew Mercoholics. It's a collaboration with Pure Project out of San Diego, our buddies down there. But yeah, so Rawaka hops just have this crazy terroir going. I mean, people talk about New Zealand wines having a very unique terroir, like the Sauvignon Blanc, especially. I feel like Riwaka hops just exemplify that to the nth degree. It's
really good.
I mean, it's a really good crop year. That hop just has this insane, like diesel-y passion fruit character. Really, really tropical, but it has this, you know, you don't want to say gasoline. It's not like gasoline, but it's like really, really pleasant. And it's something that it's a thiol. So it's like this like micro sulfur compound that's even in like the parts per trillion on our palate, we can detect it because it's so potent. And in some select lots of that particular hop variety, it just comes through. You just taste it. It just sits on your palate. It has this, it reinforces that like silky kind of smooth body that we're trying to achieve with those hazy IPAs.
Well, I'll be looking forward to see the new release, and then stop by Alvarado, you know, for the Valentine's dinner, you know.
Yeah, stop by La Cantina too. And
thank you.
Well, the more people that go out and
One more question. Hop water. What is that all about? I heard about it. I never made one, but what is your take on hop water?
Yeah, it's just hops and water and CO2 and a little bit of citric acid for balance, for pH adjustment. And this is with Mosaic and Citra, and it's kind of like a LaCroix with Mosaic and Citra. So
is that a new trend? Is that who drinks?
Yeah, it is. It's pretty trendy right now for sure. It's just kind of like a non-alcoholic option. Okay. So we brewed it. We've been trying to come out with one for a while and tried different techniques of doing it, and we finally found a really good method of doing it. And so now we're moving forward with it, and we were going to do it just for dry January, but we're pretty fired up to. Well, I think we're going to do this year round. Because
before you go, let's give it a try. I never had one. You know, because I didn't know what they're supposed to taste like or what's the purpose of them.
Right.
But now I know dry January. If you want to, you know, stay out of the beer, craft beer,
drink tequila.
It's hard to not drink tequila when you're a fan. Dry January, it's not gonna happen
for sure.
Well, yeah, you get the hoppiness out of it.
It's trippy, yeah. And then it's it's just really refreshing.
But you only get the hoppiness on your nose, not on the palate.
No, not too much on the palate. No. Yeah, it's just like a. Yeah, like I said, it's just like a LaCroix with hops. You know, it's kind of the goal. Simple is good.
Simple. And you do pick up the citric acid at the end. Little bit. Not too much. Little bit. I mean, I pick it up.
If you were to test the pH of like some of the, you know, sparkling water seltzers in the market, they're usually quite a bit lower even.
Yeah. This is nicely carbonated.
Yeah, it's about 3.5 volumes. It's kind of a lot.
Yeah, but you have to. There's no malt to hold together the molecule.
Exactly.
There you have it, guys. You know, hop water, Alvarado, double cone. Besito coming out tomorrow. Thank you, Casey, for being my first guest.
Of course.
In this crazy podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm really honored.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for us.
Until next time, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.